Can a game be more than a sum of its parts? Does playing out a cliche feel better than watching it unfold in a movie? How much weight can we give to framing and direction at the cost of uninspiring gameplay? I think your answers to these questions is going to dictate as to whether or not you're going to like this game we're talking about. So, have you heard about A Way Out? Right off the bat, A Way Out is a difficult game to discuss without getting into spoilers. I'm going to keep this review as spoiler light as possible. But to give you an idea, this game very much follows a 3-act structure, over 7-ish hours of gameplay. And this review will mention some of the concepts of Acts 2 and 3, but will avoid discussion on the narrative. For the most part, we're going to be talking about the first hour of the game, because I think if you're on board with the first 60 minutes of A Way Out, you're going to really enjoy the rest of the experience. And to me, I was totally on board in that first hour. A Way Out is designed from the ground up around cooperative play, either couch co-op or online. It's impossible to play it solo, and even if you could manage that technical feat, the game involves decision making with your buddy, with your player too. It's a game experience that relies on one of you being Vincent and the other of you being Leo. Those are our two primary characters, by the way, whose journeys we undertake. Vincent Moretti has just been convicted of fraud and murder and is being sent to prison. In jail, he quickly meets Leo Caruso, who has been incarcerated for the past 6 months on the grounds of grand theft, assault, and armed robbery. Both have a history with the crime boss named Harvey, who's sent a thug after the both of them in jail. So Leo and Vincent have to team up to deal with this threat and in turn to work together to escape. The first 60 minutes set this narrative framework and tries to build up these two personalities, and I think it does it successfully as we slowly get to see the layers pulled back and some of the nuance and characteristics of both Vincent and Leo.
Just trying to make you understand that you could really use my help.
Like I said, I can handle myself.
What about Harvey, then?
The fuck do you know about Harvey? Who you been talking to?
The walls are thin in here.
Am I supposed to believe that?
Let's just say that you and me have something in common. We both want him dead.
You don't know shit about me, man.
Maybe not. But Harvey killed someone very close to me. With or without you, I'm going after him. But I'm pretty damn sure our chances would be a lot better if we worked together. And you know that.
I immediately found Leo's forthright and violent behavior infectious, whereas Vincent is more a worldly character and is a bit of a slower burn to warm up to. So what do you do in A Way Out? Well, here I spoil things because you can, like drive and shoot. So obviously the entirety of the game is not a simple jailbreak. A Way Out is not just in reference to a way out of imprisonment. It's a third-person action-adventure with quick-time events, minor puzzles, driving, shooting, talking, shooting up bad guys, playing baseball, chases. The chases, these sequences where you're trying to escape your pursuers, whoever they might be, are my particular favorite and highlight of A Way Out because of how this game works on a cooperative level. Because really, that's what we need to talk about. A Way Out is an asynchronous experience. That is, Leo, player 1, could be in the middle of a cutscene while Vince, player 2, is freely moving about the environment. Or Vince could be in trouble, engaged in a struggle of his own, and it's up to Leo to maneuver in real time to rescue him while the other player is just kind of hanging on, the whole smashing A, and leading to this kind of this tensity both felt on the couch and on the screen. The first prime example of this is a fight in the jailhouse yard. Leo gets into a brawl and Vince has to make his way to rescue him, and me, as the player of Vince, could see Leo's screen and see Leo's player beside me cut up in all the action, and then she could see me as Vince approaching one of the prisoners from behind and giving him a wallop. It was just so cool to see this kind of experience. A lot of the times cooperative play treats all players largely the same. Divinity Original Sin, perhaps one of the few exceptions of that. A Way Out, kind of like Divinity, lets players operate in their own spaces, but in a much more dramatic fashion than Divinity does. A Way Out wants each player to have autonomy while simultaneously being bound to the other's actions. There's just some awesome sequences where you have to work together as both characters and players. Like one person keeping lookout as the other chisels into a cell wall. And it doesn't just rely on the communication of in the game, it relies on communication of out of the game. But you both gotta interact in this, it's just so cool, and I really enjoyed all of it immensely. The other noticeable flair of A Way Out is in its presentation. It's split screen, but the middle cut can sway and shift depending on what each character is doing. A cutscene could trigger and make Leo's screen larger, but still show Vincent's point of view. And certain passages zoom out to the entire screen, making both players watch something unfold. I really dug this style of presentation, and it remains to me actually really such a unique experience. Even 2 years after this game's release, there's nothing that still tops it from being a truly cooperative game. The experience, however, is not built off of everything in A Way Out being perfect or even good. For example, while the performances of Leo and Vincent are great, some of the chapters are just a little too cliche, too predictable. The chases were fantastic, as I mentioned, but the driving didn't have a good feel. The design of the shooting parts built on the asynchronous style, but the actual gunplay was just bad. Very little of the actual gameplay of A Way Out is at all memorable. Rather, I find it all charming and infectious because of how it was framed, how you can go from one sequence of fixing up an old car to driving away from the police to paddling down a river. And each of those requires you and your player 2 working together. You can see how Leo and Vincent's relationship evolves. You get this push and pull framing. A Way Out is one of those games that is just beautifully and purposefully shot. So I tip my hat to the game director Joseph Fares. He receives totally a wholehearted positive score. By no means is A Way Out a perfect or near perfect cooperative play. Evaluated individually, many of its components are just good, okay, or even mediocre. But because of how it binds up all of these different experiences into 2 excellent performances, fantastic direction, and just awesome asynchronous play, A Way Out is a near perfect cooperative experience.
I guess it's the same way down, right?
Yeah?
It's my plan, and I decide what goes down. You got that?
Sure. Whatever you say.
I mean it, man. You fuck this up, I'll kill you myself.
Yeah, I get it. So what's your plan?
You'll know soon enough.